at the Matric Rage event that has been declared a super spreader. The Rage Festival is held in different parts of the country every year to celebrate the end of Matric. The event in question was hosted in Balito Bay in Kwazulu Natal. All other Rage Festival events have been postponed after the health department said that a number of attendants had contracted COVID-19 and all the learners were considered contacts. To discuss, we're now joined by the Gauteng Department of Health spokesperson Kwara Kekana. Ms. Kekana, thank you. We're talking to you because over 1,000 students from Gauteng attended this festival. Have they all been contacted? How does it work right now?
Good evening to you, Francis, and good evening to the viewers at home. So just from the Rage Festival alone in KZN, Gauteng has been able to receive a list from the National Department of Health indicating that over 1,300 students actually are residents of Gauteng or come from the Gauteng province. The efforts are still underway by the department officials, our public health team, and the contract tracing teams in the different districts to try and get a hold of the various students that took part in that Rage Festival. We can confirm that over 1,200 of those students come from the Johannesburg district. We can further confirm that over 100 of those students come from the Tshwane district.
So you mean if they haven't been watching the news, they may be spreading COVID-19 as we speak?
Potentially. So what we've been doing, looking particularly at the Johannesburg district, we have enlisted the help of the provincial call center that's based in the office of the Premier to call all the students that are based in the city of Johannesburg or in the Johannesburg district one by one, and to inform them, number one, to get themselves to get tested either privately through private laboratories or to contact the Department of Health to get that assistance. But with regards to the city of Tshwane, we've been able to trace out of the 108 students that belong to that district, we've been able to contact over 106 of those students, and I'm confident that by this evening in that district, all of those students would have been contacted and their families also alerted to, I think, one, monitor their symptoms, begin immediate quarantine, as they also begin the process of ensuring that they do get tested. Unfortunately, at this stage, we don't have the confirmed number of those 1.2 students coming from the city of Johannesburg district as to how many the team has been able to contact at this stage, but the process, I can confirm, is still underway.
Many people are asking, how on earth did this happen? And maybe you could have some answers for us. Lockdown level 1, the restrictions are 250 people or less indoor, 500 or less in terms of an outdoor gathering, a social event. Did the Rage event break lockdown regulations? How was that possible?
I'm not sure, and I can't speak to some of the details pertaining to the event itself, but I'm assuming the event was not sanctioned, similar to how you have some of these other social gatherings and similar to how you have funerals that exceed the number of people that should be in these type of gatherings as well, similar to weddings, and that then become super spreader events. We have seen in the past where particularly funeral events and other social gatherings potentially could be one of those events that cause a bit of a problem for us when it comes to COVID-19 cases. And this, in this instance, is no different, Francis.
But are you asking questions of your KwaZulu Natal counterparts and law enforcement as well? Maybe there would have been permission granted or asked, and surely officials knew about this event because it is massive as far as I understand, and it happens each and every year.
It is quite concerning, especially when you're looking at the number of people alone that are coming from the Gauteng province. It is deeply concerning, and the fact that now you have people that have tested positive for COVID-19 coming from that particular event. But of course, I think that engagements, particularly at a national level, because I mean, these events now trickle into other provinces. I think there is a need to strengthen in terms of the monitoring where law enforcement is concerned. Issues around enforcement become quite important as well. And I think those conversations as well need to take place and strengthening the various departments that are responsible for enforcement, particularly as it relates to COVID-19 regulations in general. But we do plead with people, we do plead with communities. I mean, ultimately, the people that are affected the most are your own families. Now we're stuck with a situation where when we're calling the students, we also have to inform their families that they must begin a process of quarantine, and they must also begin a process of ensuring that they get tested. So ultimately, we need to take responsibility for our own actions, Francis, in as much as law enforcement becomes important in enforcing regulations. Yeah. Ultimately, we need to take care of ourselves and our own families. These people have effectively put their own families in danger.
But this was a big hitting event. Maybe officials were involved. We'll keep following that up, but I hear what you're saying. That'll happen on a national level. And just to clarify, we've been showing some visuals. Those aren't of the recent event. You can see nobody's wearing masks and a lot of mingling. We don't exactly know what happened at Balito. Those are previous rage events. Final question for you. So some kids are sick. Do you know how many are serious? Have any fatalities been reported?
Are you referring to as it pertains to the Rage Fest, Francis?
Yes.
At this stage, we don't have those details, particularly for the Gauteng crowd. We will keep members of the community and members of the media updated as soon as, number one, we've confirmed and traced all the students that participated and how many of those students test positive for COVID-19, if any. And we will keep you updated definitely on those outcomes of those results.
All right. Thank you for being with us tonight. A spokesperson from the Gauteng Department of Health, Kwara Kekana.